Hi guys, it's Ashley or Ashy Kitty. This video has been in the bank for a while. Sometime last year, my dear friend Mike challenged me to do a craft. This was May and June of 2023 when I was in the middle of my medical episode last year. I believe I had been whining about not being able to or wanting to do crafting, arts and crafts in a group chat server we are in. He had given me a time limit / deadline at the time, and it definitely took me longer than it, I believe. So I started this around May or June, and I think I finished it in October. And this video has sat around for even longer. It was filmed while I wasn't putting out videos because of said illness. So it's been waiting around for the right time to be posted, and that is now. The craft I had chosen to do was to make standees of two of my deities. Now, these aren't like Greek gods or like any mythological gods from like real life. They are my personal deities from my fantasy universe. Think like Dungeons and Dragons gods or something like that. These two in specific are the main duo, the gods of life and death, respectively. So I've been developing these two and my other deities for probably 8 to 10 years. Since I was in high school, since I created that fantasy universe. But I really started focusing on them in 2019, 2020. During that time, I was working a full-time job that was really draining, and I ended up really devoting myself to these fictional deities for comfort. There was another part of this that I will talk about in another video, because the deity thing is kind of two halves of the same coin. There's another part of it that's really the big part that was important to me, and the deities are also part of that. And they've been really important since that time to me. I'm not religious or anything, and I don't treat these deities like they are real, someone who practices, witchcraft or any other deity worship. But I do think it's really special to have something profound that I, care about like this, even if it's just an aspect of my art and stories. So during this time, I was in a art-based Discord with Mike, and he always really encouraged me in my art and with developing my brand and stuff. I believe this is when I started doing YouTube. I think that was kind of when I was starting out. So it's really fitting that, I chose to do something with my deities for his little challenge, because a big part of my art at that time was my deities and this other half of my deities, I guess. I'd share Mike's art social media with you guys, but he really doesn't do that anymore. He closed his art brand or whatever. So I guess I'll show you guys some of his old pins. He used to have a shop, but unfortunately he doesn't sell these anymore. But they are really cute, and I'm glad I own them. Okay, I don't want to get too mushy and weird, but Mike's important to me, so that's why this video is dedicated to him. And I will talk about my deities more in another video, and more about them and their lore, and this other part that is important to me in my art, blah blah blah. For the art process, I drew the line art on the iPad. I've been doing this since last year, and I know I do it often. I don't love doing it in for every video, but in this case, I did it so I could get the sizing and scale for both of them correct. I also wanted to use watercolor for the coloring of this piece, a medium that I'm not super skilled in. So I wanted to be able to print out another blank of this piece if I like messed up and needed to do it again. So I printed out the pieces like separately, flat laying, so the 2 deities and then the 2 hourglasses. This gave, like, when I put it all together, this gave the art a more layered look once it was fully assembled. So it wasn't one flat piece. So I used watercolors like this, like I mentioned, and I think a little bit of gouache. I have like the Himi gouache set, and this might not have been the best choice because these 2 figures are very detailed, and the scale, they were pretty tiny. Some of the details were really, really tiny, but I do love the look of the watercolors and like the texture and stuff. So in the end, it was worth it. As a little fun fact, I had to make up the flowers that they are holding because I wanted them to have like a special plant that was like meaningful to like my deities and my story and stuff. I do a lot of like fictional plants in my art. I've been doing this for years. And I wanted my deities to have a special one. So this is the deity bloom, and watchers of this channel will have already seen it on the custom card binder that I made a video of me painting. And then if anyone continues watching this channel, you will definitely see it again because I have other videos in the works involving the deity bloom and other stuff about my deities. So you will probably see that in the near future. So for the hourglass, actually, like, I think I messed up somehow. I don't even remember how, but I ended up cutting away the like inside of the hourglass. So where the sand, it would be the bubble, like the inside of the bubble of the hourglass, where the sand would be. And I painted the sand on a separate like scrap page of watercolor paper or something, and it ended up giving it more of that like layering. So after all of the painting, I cut out all of the pieces, and then eventually, to get like the spacing right, I washi taped it together so I could glue it all together. Oh, and I also used some metallic watercolors and some like scrap to make like halos or like a golden glow motif that is often seen in religious art. I think like mostly Christian art maybe. But I put these behind the deities' heads like halos. For the wooden element to actually make them standees, I carved down some like wooden panels that I think I got from Dollar Tree, and I just shaped those a little bit, and then I glued them. I glued the feet the art onto them. Originally, for the base, I was going to cut one of the wooden woodcut circle slices in half to kind of like make them like almost like bookends, if that makes sense. But I actually decided to put them together on one wood slice. And then to kind of fill some empty space on the wood slice base and like decorate it, we have another deity bloom on said base and some feathers, which is an important motif within like the deity story. And I just glued the wood panels to that. So yeah, we have this deity standee, and I don't know, I think this is kind of creative and really cool. It's not something, you know, I regularly do as like an art piece, so I think it's, you know, kind of unique and really cool, obviously. So it is nearing the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching, especially if you made it this far. Thank you, Mike, for the challenge, even if it took me a really long time to actually make this video. Thank you for being my friend, and shout out to the Sprout Squad if any of you are watching right now. So don't forget to leave a blessing for my deities. I'm just kidding. And like, comment, and subscribe. I'm not kidding about that part. Please do that. I hope you guys will join me for my next video sometime soon, hopefully. Thank you for watching. Bye.